Hello friends, welcome back. I am Vivekanandan. So how are you all doing? So in between there was a small gap where I couldn't post videos regularly. Going forward, I would ensure that there's no such long gaps. And importantly, many people were inquiring through mail and in the comment sections what happened to videos. So thank you very much everybody for your kind support. And let us jump into today's video. So in today's video, let us discuss about this particular model, which is none other than Saas, software as a service. So what is this Saas model and how is it different from a regular software, and how is it going to benefit people? Particularly, we will discuss this with a lot of examples, and most importantly at the end we will also discuss how people searching for employment can think about Saas to increase their prospects, and how people running businesses, how they can think about Saas and how they can solve their problems. We will discuss about all these things in today's video. To start with, what is the Saas? It actually stands for software as a service, Saas model. And how is it different from a regular software? How is a software and a Saas different? So a software is something which we install in our device, say a laptop or a computer, and we have to regularly maintain it, update it, run some security features, all these things. So it needs to be done with the software. Whereas for a SaaS model, it doesn't apply because the entire thing completely works on a internet platform. For an example, say if you have a video editing software and if you have installed it in your device, say a laptop, you can use that video editing software only with that same device. For example, you go outstation, you have to carry that laptop along with you, and only then you can use that particular video editing software. Whereas in a SaaS based model or a SaaS software, what happens is you don't need to carry your device everywhere. For example, you can access that video editing software from any platforms, from any device, and from anywhere. All you need to do is just have to log in into your account and you start directly using it, because the entire software is built on the internet. Say it might be built on a cloud platform. So that is the most important difference. And what about the cost element? For example, if you're going to install a software, it is going to be a one-time payment, and only when you're going to upgrade it, you might be paying more. But whereas for a SaaS model, what happens is to use it, you will be doing a recurring payment. You will be either doing a monthly payment or a yearly payment, or whatever the payment feature is there available. So this is the basic difference. So nothing to say that this is better or this is better, but what happens is this SaaS model is actually creating an entirely new industry. So many problems are being solved using this SaaS model, and many people are actually moving to this SaaS based model because maintenance is actually easy and the process has become much more efficient. So that is the most important difference with SaaS based model. Let's discuss a few examples now, and one classic example would be the Google Sheet. For example, let us assume that you are a person working in a manufacturing industry. You are at a middle level executive and you have a boss to report, and you have people who are reporting for you as well. Now say that today is a very important day where your company, a manufacturing industry, is preparing a lot of bottles, is manufacturing a lot of bottles now using the raw materials available in that particular industry. Now what you will normally be doing is now you have to coordinate this entire operation and keep on reporting to your boss, as well as giving a lot of instructions to your executives as well who are reporting to you. Now what will happen is now you need to give these updates every 1 hour to your boss as well as your reporting people. So now instead what you will do normally is we would constantly call them over a phone or send an email giving the regular updates. But whereas with a Google Sheet, what you can actually do is you can just update all the facts and figures and keep sharing it to your to the other people. And what they can also do is whatever information they also need to update or upgrade, they will also be updating or doing the same thing in the Google Sheet which is available, which means that the communication flow becomes between all the three becomes very smooth, and most importantly much more efficient. Only at the end of the day it becomes necessary to give a final update through calls or through an email. Everything is is completely integrated because of this Google Sheet, which is completely based on internet. So you don't download it, you don't run it as a software and all of you are connected through your email IDs through this particular Google Sheet. So this is a classic example of a software as a service model. So the SaaS is completely built on internet and under any kind of a cloud platform. Let us understand this with a few more examples. In our channel, we discussed about this particular startup, which Indian startup, which actually became a unicorn, was valued $1 billion. Very recently, one of the very good performing SaaS based startups in India, which is none other than Zenoti. So what is this Zenoti doing? So this Zenoti has developed a SaaS model, and for whom? That is the most important thing. It is for salons and spas. So for example, say a salon like Tony and Guy or Essentials or a Naturals or a Green Trends, they have hundreds of stores with them. They run hundreds of stores. But using this particular SaaS model, what they can do is they can integrate all these stores. For example, if they are buying a lot of commodities, say a shaving cream or a hair dye or a tissue paper for all these stores, and they send a certain amount to all these particular stores, and at the end of the month they can actually track using this particular SaaS model, like how much commodities or how much materials was actually used and what is the requirement for the very next month. So the entire process, they have it, the entire data, facts and figures, they have it at their fingertip. They can manage it much more efficiently, much more smoothly. So this is the most important thing, and it is not only from the salon side. What about the customers? The customers also, instead of coming and waiting in their lounge, instead what they can do is they can directly book their appointments, cancel their appointments, and the interaction between the customer and the shop becomes much more better, and it is a very good customer experience as well. So that is the most important thing. The same thing can also be done by developing a software, but maintaining it, everything becomes much more difficult. So the complete technical part is taken over in a SaaS model, where every particular owner, they can concentrate on their core product offering rather than looking into this particular technical aspects. That is taken care of in a SaaS model. I'll give you one another example. One another startup which is doing well is this particular company called as Nopaperforms, and they are operating in the education space, in the education sector. So what is the problem they are basically solving? The problem they are actually solving is streamlining the admission process. We know that, this is already the admission season, and every school and colleges are into this admission process, and it is a very, very difficult process. So now they want to make it a smooth process. How are they doing it? For example, one of the common problems with colleges and schools is what about their marketing budget? They have a marketing budget, they spend it to get some admissions, but after 2 months, what is the ROI? What is the return of investment? It is very difficult to track, because they would have marketed in a radio platform, a television platform, or in a social media platform, but how do they know that who purchased a product, who did not, and where did the money go? But using these kind of a SaaS based model, what they can do is they will be able to know where were the leads generated, where the leads converted into sales, everything they get a data. So that is a kind of SaaS model these companies are coming out, say Nopaperforms. One another example from the customer side would be like this. For example, again a parent wants to put his child into to get an admission into any other school in that particular city, and what is happening in today's scenario is the parent needs to wake up very early, go and stand in the queue, get an application process, go back, fill it up, go back again, put it up, and he has to replicate it for 10 other schools. But for example, in this SaaS model, but these kind of companies are like Nopaperforms are again streamlining this particular process as well, and they have one common application platform where this particular parent for these 10 schools, if they are using their product, what happens is it is enough for this particular parent to apply or to fill up one single application for all the 10 schools, and this particular parent is able to track the progress, which school rejected, which school wanted more information, or which school has already accepted that particular application. And the same is going to be useful from the school side as well. Now the school will also have data. Did they reject an application, or did the parent rejected the admission, or whatever has happened? The school will also have some relevant data according to, in terms of this particular admission process. So the entire thing is again completely tracked. The point again is these schools, every school can come out with their own software, but then the investment and maintaining and all becomes a very difficult process. But in this particular SaaS model, that is being taken care of, and it becomes a much more efficient process because it is just built on the internet, on a cloud platform, and things are just integrated into it. So that is a major difference over here. And normally one common theme which we normally speak in our channel is for every problem there is an opportunity. So an opportunity in the form of an idea, in the form of a technology, in the form of any other product to solve that particular problem. But with this SaaS, what I would like to say is the technology is actually built now. The product is very visible before us. So now what we have to think is using the SaaS, what are the kind of problems which can be solved? So we'll just identify the problems, and just we have to see whether the SaaS model can be applied over there, or how can we actually apply that and solve this particular platform. So any people who are looking for jobs in SaaS based companies, those candidates can think on these lines: how using this particular SaaS model that company can solve the problems, come out with some kind of crazy ideas so that they impress the interviewers. Or for example, those people who are running some business and finding it difficult to manage that particular business can seriously think of some kind of a SaaS based models where they can actually use that in their offices and streamline the process and run the business much more efficiently and smoothly. So what do you think about this particular SaaS based models? Please share your opinions in the comment section. Thanks for watching this video. Have a good day.